Mia, I have a question for you. Do you know what a parable is? Oh, no, no, not a pair of bulls, a parable. Let me explain. A parable is a story that teaches a lesson. And Jesus told a lot of parables because he had a lot of lessons to teach. Ooh, Mia, how about you join us for today's story, the parable of the house built on sand and the house built on rock. Jesus would often tell stories as people gathered around to hear him speak. The stories or parables that he told helped everyone understand some important truths about what it means to follow God. Here's Jesus' parable about the house built on sand and rock. It's also called the parable of the wise and foolish builders. Jesus said that everyone who listens to him and puts his words into practice is like a wise man who builds his house on solid rock. When the rain, wind, and storms come, the house built on rock stays strong because it has a firm foundation. The harsh weather cannot shake or damage the well-built house. This part of the parable teaches us that if we listen to Jesus and do what he says, it's like building our life on a strong foundation, and that helps us handle troubles better. Then Jesus said that everyone who hears what he has to say but does not put any of it into practice is like a foolish man who builds his house on soft sand. When the wind, rain, and storms come, the house falls down because it's not built on a strong foundation. The soft sand can't hold up the house, and it's destroyed. This part of the parable tells us that if we listen to Jesus but do not do what he says, it can be harder to stand up strong against the troubles that might come our way. Yeah, we need to not only listen to what Jesus says, but we need to do those things as well. So, how can we make sure our house is built on a strong foundation? By knowing what Jesus wants and also doing those things. For example, we know that God wants us to show kindness to everyone, even if they're not kind to us. But the extra hard part is actually putting that into practice, not just knowing about it. Yeah, we have to show kindness in our lives, even if people are not being kind to us. It's important to know what God wants for us, but it's even more important to go and do those things. Now, here's a song about building our house on solid rock.
If you do what Jesus says, it's like your house is built on solid rock. If you don't do what Jesus says, it's like your house is built on slippery sand. The things that Jesus says are the things that you should do. Listen to what he teaches and act on those teachings too. If you do what Jesus says, it's like your house is built on solid rock. If you don't do what Jesus says, it's like your house is built on slippery sand.
Make sure your house is built on solid rock. All right, thanks for listening, and see you later.
Hey, hey.